Time now for some business news on the programme, starting off with the aviation giant Boeing, which has just unveiled a crucial software update for its grounded 737 MAX fleet after two deadly crashes. Well, our business editor Brian Quinn is here with me to take us all through it. Brian.
Well, Nadia, Boeing invited some 200 pilots, technicians and regulators to its company headquarters Wednesday to unveil the software fix. The update is aimed at what's known the MCAS system, which was designed to prevent the 737 MAX from stalling by forcing the nose down to regain airspeed. That software is suspected as a prime factor in two recent crashes that killed nearly 300 people. Meanwhile, in the U.S. Capitol, lawmakers grilled regulators over a relationship with Boeing critics say is too cozy. The Federal Aviation Administration relies on company employees to help it certify aircraft. The agency says handling all approvals internally would require 10,000 extra federal workers and $1.8 billion. Still, the FAA says it will overhaul its practices by this coming July and that the 737 MAX will stay grounded for the time being.
Assure you and everyone else that the FAA will go wherever the facts lead us in our pursuit of safety. The 737 MAX will return to service for U.S. carriers only when the FAA's analysis of the facts and technical data indicate that it is appropriate to do so.
Next, Swedish authorities have widened their investigation into alleged money laundering at Swedbank. The Economic Crime Authority now suspects fraud at the Swedish lender, which is the largest in the Baltic region. The bank was raided Wednesday in a separate insider trading investigation. Its CEO says it is cooperating with authorities. Swedish media have implicated Swedbank in a money laundering scandal across the Baltics that's already embroiled Danish lender Danske Bank. Sweden's prime minister says new laws may be necessary to fight money laundering in the country.
Right now in an investigation phase. But I think it will probably end up in also that we need to strengthen our legislation, and we'll do that because this is needed to combat as strong as we can.
It's time now for a check-in on the day's trading action. Asian markets mostly lower on Thursday as 10-year U.S. Treasury bond yields slipped to their lowest point in a year, rekindling fears of a looming recession in the States. The Nikkei in Tokyo closed down around 1.6% as shares in automation giant Fanuc fell there. Shanghai down nearly 1%, Hong Kong up 0.25%. The Kospi in Seoul closing down nearly over 0.8% actually, as Samsung shares dropped there. Sterling taking another hit on the currency markets after Wednesday's rather inconclusive Brexit votes in Parliament. It is currently trading under $1.32, though has gained just a tiny bit since the close. Next, with Turkey officially in recession, a volatile lira and rampant inflation have sent food prices soaring nearly 30%. To soften the blow, the government has declared war on what it calls food terrorism and set up markets in Istanbul and Ankara where buyers can purchase fruits and vegetables at below market prices. Municipal elections starting Sunday, it's a political decision that comes with a major cost. France 24's team in Istanbul have this report.
Lining up for discount prices. Across Istanbul, government-run markets offer fruits and vegetables at significantly lower prices. Here, tomatoes cost 50 euro cents a kilo, at least 2 times cheaper than elsewhere.
Our purchasing power has gone down. So for us, these projects are, in my opinion, a good thing. They allow us to save 50%.
Organized by the AK Party-led municipality, in the run-up to the March 31st local elections, these tents target the base of the ruling party, disproportionately affected by soaring inflation. In traditional markets across the city, vendors say the government-run stalls have an unfair advantage.
We have costs and taxes to pay. They don't pay anything. They buy at normal prices and sell for a loss. I used to sell a truck full of produce every day, and now I only sell half of that, which means I am losing money.
By absorbing these costs, the government-run markets are losing tens of thousands of euros every day. The opposition calls these stalls an electoral stunt and points out the lost revenue will have to be found elsewhere, namely the taxpayers' pockets.
It's France 24's Shona Bhattacharya there. Finally, for business, spending your leisure time in an airplane seat probably doesn't sound very appealing, at least to those of us who fly economy. But what if your seat at home was made from the airplane? Airbus is betting that's a concept that will tempt consumers. Its Toulouse-based startup incubator called BizLab is funding a venture called A Piece of Sky that will upcycle old jet airplane parts into snazzy modern furniture. It's part of a growing circular economy here in France, reusing, recycling, and reselling retired commercial gear. An armchair made from the nose cone of an A350, a coffee table built on the rotor of a turbine. 22 prototypes will be up for sale starting in mid-April. None of them capable of flight, to my knowledge, Nadia, unless perhaps you throw it out a high window. I don't know.
Yeah, none of it particularly appealing to me, Brian, but thank you very much indeed. Brian Quinn there with the business on the programme.